The morning began like so many others in the countryside, with the old farm truck groaning under the weight of nearly 100 sacks of harvested crops. The worker wiped the sweat from his forehead and said tiredly, "Just 1 or 2 more trips and we'll finish." "Ma'am," Diep gave a weary but grateful smile, telling him to let everyone rest for lunch and return in the afternoon since she had errands and couldn't be there. Life during harvest season was always messy and exhausting, but amidst the chaos, she found comfort in the presence of little NHI. Winter was approaching, so Diep took NHI to buy warm clothes. The little girl picked out a soft pink sweater and clutched it to her chest as though it were the most precious thing in the world. Her eyes sparkled when she said, "I like this one so much." Diep gently brushed Nee's hair and told her they would buy it, along with a warm hat to keep her head and hands cozy. Everything seemed normal until NHI looked up with her innocent eyes and whispered, "Auntie Diep, I miss Uncle James." His name still echoed daily in their small home, a name full of unanswered questions and silent worry. Later, at the Pottery painting shop, NHI chose a plump little animal figure. She giggled and said, "This one looks like Uncle James, he's chubby like this." Diep laughed softly, though the sound carried a hint of sadness. As NHI painted the figure with her tiny, careful strokes, she kept asking, "Does Uncle James miss me? Has he eaten yet? Is he okay?" Diep hesitated. She didn't want to lie, but she didn't want NHI to worry either. So she said gently, "He's probably just very busy, but I believe he'll come back." And NHI, in her simple childlike faith, accepted the answer with a smile that made Diep's heart ache. That night, after Diep finally got NHI to sleep, a familiar voice suddenly called from outside. "Diep, I'm home." She froze. James stood in the doorway, dusty from the road, with tired eyes carrying more weight than he could hide. "Where did you go? I called so many times," she cried, her voice trembling with fear she had held inside for days. James offered a small, apologetic smile and said he had been overwhelmed with work and even gotten into a minor accident on his way back. He insisted he was fine, but his eyes drifted toward the room where NHI was sleeping. "Does she still talk about me?" he asked quietly. "Every day," Diep whispered. James stepped into the room, moving as though he were afraid to breathe too loudly. There, curled under a thin blanket, NHI slept peacefully with the painted statue pressed tightly against her chest. The chubby little figure she said looked like him. Its colors were uneven, its lines imperfect, but it was full of love. It was the way she held it, the way her small fingers wrapped around it, the way her tiny lips still murmured his name in her sleep, that made James stop in his tracks. A single tear fell before he even realized it. Then another. He wasn't crying out of physical pain or exhaustion, but because he was faced with a pure, unconditional affection he felt he didn't deserve. The child had been waiting for him, loving him, missing him so deeply that she created a little version of him just to feel closer. Diep stood behind him and saw his shoulders shaking. "James, were you planning to stay gone forever?" she asked quietly. He wiped his eyes with the back of his hand, ashamed and overwhelmed, and admitted in a broken voice that he missed them more than he could ever explain. The next morning, Diep sat down with her calculator, counting the money earned after selling the crop. After paying for labor, transportation, supplies, and countless little expenses, the profit was barely enough to live on. Weeks of back-breaking work had become just a few million dong of hard-earned savings. Being both a mother and a provider felt heavier than any sack of potatoes they had lifted the day before. And James, even though he was there now, was still carrying secrets she didn't understand. As NHI woke up and began brushing her teeth with her usual cheerful clumsiness, Diep realized she could no longer keep waiting and worrying in silence. She needed answers. She needed to know whether James was truly safe, truly present, truly hers to rely on. So she whispered to herself, "Today, I must go see Mr. Fat. I need to know what really happened. I need the truth." And through it all, the image of James standing beside Nee's bed, silently crying as he watched the little girl clutch the painted figure of him in her sleep, lingered in her mind, because that was the moment he broke. The moment he realized the depth of the love he had left behind. The moment he saw what he meant to a child who only wanted him to come home. And that, more than anything else, was what made James cry.